Despite the tenuous economy, parents will spend during the back-to-school season, says asset manager Scott Schermerhorn.
They'll spend on necessities. They won't spend on luxuries. There's certain things kids need to go back to school, certain necessities. Certain things in the past, maybe the flat screen television, maybe the new computer or something, and I don't think that's going to be an item they'll spend on this time around.
How much shopping will they do at Walmart? That stock has really been stuck in the mud for a long time.
The answer's been stuck in the mud because people looking at the U.S. business only. What people, I think, fail to realize is over a third of it is now international and growing quite handsomely in some cases. But people focus on the domestic, and I think they're missing the bigger picture.
What about Staples? A lot of people go to Staples for their back-to-school shopping.
And I think it's a very interesting thing. If you look at Staples right now, it's priced, quote unquote, as a broken retailer. However, they're selling necessities, and they're not selling things that, let's say, have fashion risk. If they have too much white paper, you can simply lower the price by 10%. Whereas if you're selling fashion, you have to lower the price by 80% plus to move it in some cases. So I think it's a very safe way to play.
All right, speaking of retailers to avoid, what about the Gap? Should people be loitering at the Gap in the mall?
The Gap is another, I would say, priced as a broken retailer along with Staples, but I think the bigger issue, as I mentioned before, the Gap has fashion risk. They missed fashion last time. They're going to have to move out the inventory that they can't sell right now. That's going to be costly. They have to restock the shelves. And dealing with teen fashion is very, very tricky and very, very fad-like. And I'd much rather do something that's more proven as a Staples than a Gap.
And as for all those must-have gadgets, Schermerhorn says kids will get them, but not necessarily at Best Buy.
I think Best Buy is really struggling. I've seen everything from exercise machines in there to all kinds of things you'd never expect to see in the past. I think that's really, there's no real new technological whiz-bang gadget that people have to go and buy. So in many cases they can buy those gadgets, whether they're cell phones, whether they're computers, from a Staples, from a Walmart, from almost anywhere else. There's really no need to go to a Best Buy at this point.